who have had clarity using the mBIT model, and it's one of my favorite modalities of coaching. Very, very powerful. mBIT you to make wiser decisions without feeling any conflict. It enhances for you to go forward and be your highest authentic self. You know, I love it.
Yes, of course. I think I would love to be part of that process actually, because maybe I could have a session with yourself.
Okay, that'd be great, Mina. I'd love to give you some coaching on mBIT. We can connect again after the show, and we can certainly have an mBIT session. And actually, I want to say that I love mBIT so much. I want to train as an mBIT trainer. I've made the decision to train. I'm not sure if I'm going to go along this year to meet Grant Salusu and Marvin Oka, who are, you call them the founders of mBIT. But I am deeply passionate about mBIT because I think all teaching is great. We need to understand that there are certain things that we may go through in our lives which may require us to get us out of a stuck state, because sometimes your head brain will be telling you, yes, this is the way to go, and your gut brain might be telling you, I'm not sure this is the way to go. So how do you balance out those two to get your clients to make a wise decision? You know, because a lot of people don't do things because one brain is saying go left and the other brain is saying go right. So you end up stuck because you can't move forward because the two of them are quite strong. So what do you do? So a lot of people do nothing. And to add to that, I myself was in a stuck state. My head brain was telling me, stay in your job, and my heart brain and my gut brain was telling me, Angelic Reiki and coaching is your passion. Move forward. Move forward. So I had to use my own tools and techniques to get myself to a point where I could make the right decision. And, you know, when you follow what's in your heart knows exactly what it is you need.
Yes, of course. You know, I read a lot about all these different kind of coaches, the NLP, the mBIT, and different. I sometimes, as a coach, do you find you fail to implement them in your own life, or do you do so?
Well, this is the thing. I tend to do so much to help others that I sometimes forget about myself. So, yes, that was a typical example of me having the tools and not using them on myself because, you know, we talk about being busy, and yes, I am busy, but I wasn't using some of my own tools to help guide me to where I needed to be. So, absolutely, we have tools, but sometimes we just, I wouldn't say we forget to use them, we just don't use them. I think being a coach, sometimes you need a coach yourself to get you to point C or D in your next project, because I would say everyone at some point in their life will need a coach to help them move forward, because sometimes you don't make the decisions because you're unsure, so you stay unsure and the decision doesn't get made and you end up unhappy, miserable, sad sometimes.
Yes, of course. I know. I can fully understand with that, because feeling stuck, my biggest issue is procrastination, actually. I kind of think a lot about things and putting into perspective. Sometimes I take longer, so I personally feel like, yes, I could do it, of course, myself, you know, get me going and push me in the right direction. And,
Indeed.
yes. So I know you're running a workshop pretty soon about teaching the Angelic Reiki. Do you want to talk about it a bit more?
Yes, well, Angelic Reiki level 1 and 2 is the first level of Angelic Reiki. And what that does is it gives you the tools to be your divine self. So you receive a couple of karmic cleansers. So karma, okay, to explain karma, we all have karma. Some of it is hereditary, and past lives. We have past lives. For those of you that believe in past lives, I do. I know some people don't believe in past lives, but to enable us to get from point A to point C, sometimes we need to leave some of our karma or clear some of our karma to move forward and do what it is we need to do in this life. And there are things or issues from our past life that might be holding us back in this life. So what Angelic Reiki does, it clears some of your karma from past lives and helps you to move forward and be your highest authentic self. You come away from an Angelic Reiki session, an Angelic Reiki attunement, feeling pure love, happy, relaxed, calm, and you come away feeling connected, and you come away feeling uplifted. It's something to be experienced.
It's like reconnecting with your true powers, right?
Exactly, because I could even say it's like reconnecting to your soul, your higher self, because a lot of us we're not awake. We're just going on a treadmill day by day, doing the same old things. Are we happy? Are we doing what we're meant to be doing? Are we living our purpose? I know a lot of people have dreams and aspirations, but are they taking the steps to get there? For me, Angelic Reiki helped me to find my purpose. I had a knowing from the first level of Angelic Reiki of what it is I needed to do. And it started with Angelic Reiki. So although I've done spiritual healing for possibly 3 years, I did spiritual healing. And then Usiri Reiki. Usiri Reiki is great, but it didn't, for me, it didn't wake me up. I feel Angelic Reiki, you call it an awakening. I was woken up and I have this vast awareness of my surroundings, the people around me. I connect with everything on a much deeper level, and therefore I'm able to understand and know a lot more. Now, people joke and say, well, if you know that much, give me the lottery numbers. This is what someone said to me 2 weeks ago. I laughed. I thought, well, if I knew them, play them myself. I get given information. I get given information in dreams, so you could call it prophecy. And, all these things have been heightened with my Angelic Reiki attunement. So as you go through step 1 and 2, then the next level of Angelic Reiki is 3 and 4. Then you have the professional practitioner, which enables you to practice professionally and start up a business if you so wish. And the next level after that is Master Teacher, which then enables you to teach others. So Angelic Reiki opens a lot of doors. It has opened a lot of doors for me. As a natural healer, I want to help as many people as possible. But with the Angelic Reiki attunements in me, I'm able to do a lot more. So obviously, Mina, we have met, and with the Angelic Reiki, I've sent you healing distantly. How amazing is that, to send distant Reiki to anywhere in the world?
It's quite amazing, actually. Very amazing.
Yeah. And to be able to pick up on what your client is feeling. Yeah. So, it's powerful stuff.
So it leads me to the next question now, that I know you do distant healing, but does it work for somebody who does not believe in this? I know it might work for somebody who believes in it, but does it work for somebody who does not believe in this?
My understanding of that is yes, because it all starts with your intention. So if you send a distance to someone, or you give healing to somebody who doesn't believe, the client or the recipient will receive that healing, and they may not believe in it, but they have had a healing, and they will go away and they will feel different. Now, I have given spiritual healing to someone who said, I don't know, I didn't feel anything. I said, well, I definitely connected with you, and I sent you, I gave you the healing. I'm not sure why you didn't feel anything, but, she came back to me a week and a half later and said, oh, I think I was going through a lot that day. And, when I went home over the next few days, I felt a bit different. So sometimes people are going through so much that they may not think that they received anything, but later down the line it transpires that they will feel different, and they'll understand and be able to, articulate to you what they felt during that session, although they may have thought that they didn't feel anything at the time.
Yes, of course. I think it's something you cannot sort of justify in just one session. I think you probably have to take a few sessions for you to really connect with yourself and connect with the healer, right? I personally have that sort of thoughts, but I would love to share your thoughts.
Sorry, Mina, please repeat that question.
I just said, is this something you can feel in like one session, or do you probably need more than one session
well, it depends on what the client is with, because every client that comes for healing comes for a different reason. Sometimes people are just sad and they're going through difficulties. I gave a healing to a lady I work with. She was grieving for the loss of her friend, who's a very close friend of hers. Sadly passed with cancer in January, and she couldn't stop herself crying. And I identified with that because my nan passed in September, and typically I didn't give myself any healing. I was too busy running here and there, and only when I gave myself healing did I start to cope with the grief. So I offered to give her healing complimentary. I gave her the healing, and she came back and said to me, she's only 22, she said, I've never experienced anything like this in my life, but it really, really helped me. And it helped her so much that she went away and told her friends, and I only gave her one session. We were at work, and I took her to the meeting room because she just kept crying, and I said, look, I want to help you. I'm not going to force this on you. This worked for me last year whilst I was grieving. Let me help you if you want. And she said, oh, yes, please, because I need to function at work and I can't stop crying. So took her in the meeting room, gave her just one session, and she said it really made a world of difference to her. So in just one session, it can help you overcome something traumatic. It depends on the person, because every soul is different. We're all unique, so every soul is different. I can't say until I meet someone and we discuss a treatment plan what it is they're going to need, but it just depends. So one session could work for a thing. It may take 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. So, Angelic Reiki is not just for, I should say also, Angelic Reiki is not just for relaxation. It is for grief. It can use it for pain. It also can be used for cancer. We're not allowed to say it can cure cancer, although it can, and it has. Some people's karma is that their cancer may have to pass. So it does help with cancer, but you cannot promise to cure anyone, because we're not there. You just cannot promise to cure anyone, because you don't know what that person has to go through on their path. So each person is different.
Of course. You sound like you have created a business around your purpose in life, and that is such an amazing thing, isn't it? Like, finding your true purpose in life.